night, guys, and welcome to this special edition report by the Guyanese Critic. And it is directly in relation to sanctions, new sanctions by U.S. authorities that were brought against a number of Guyanese, Colombians, and involved in this is a senior superintendent of police. You know, these sanctions can only be considered to be worrying. Like drug dealers are going to be drug dealers. That is obvious. They have chosen that path, and I have not known only for one criminal I know of that act in a criminal manner, does criminality, and try to portray, or two to be exact, try to portray themselves as decent people. Drug dealers act like drug dealers. But police officers, something is wrong. Something is seriously wrong there. Let's get down right away into the nitty-gritty of it. So this is on the OFAC and the Treasury Department of the Treasury website. You could go to the OFAC website, or you go to the Department of Treasury website, and it speaks. So you have a header as it relates to who dealing with it, narco trafficking. Today, the U.S. Department of the Treasury Office of Foreign Asset Control, OFAC, sanctioned 4 Guyanese nationals, 2 Colombian nationals and 2 Colombian nationals, no, not and, they said 2 Colombian nationals responsible for trafficking tons of cocaine from South America to the United States, Europe, and the Caribbean. Right? So they're suggesting the sanction targeted, what is it? You go to the website. These are matters of fact. These are matters of fact that you, if you take your time and your effort to read, you will realize. So, I have been saying for quite some time now, I have said it before, these are matter of facts. No, they're not airtight secrets. There are a number of investigations, open investigations, that are going on presently by the United States government, of government officials, law enforcement officials, business people, as a result of the new wave of interest that the United States has in Guyana, a small English-speaking country on the northern shores of the South American continent, as a result of the piqued interest that America has in Guyana. As we all know, what is the reason for that? As a result of that interest, the Americans want to ensure that there's a certain level of accountability, transparency, and the continued work of the government to eradicate corruption. This shows the Americans' frustration, because I could tell you, the Guyana police force did not know today that one of its members would have been sanctioned. They knew sanctions were coming. The Guyana police force is aware of ongoing investigations, but they did not know that one of its members, because only 2 days ago they wished him a happy birthday. Big on the page, happy birthday, Senior Superintendent Shaw. You go to the Guyana Police Force page, you see it right now. Superintendent Shaw was the commander of Region 1, the Borimo Waini area. It's the bordering region with Venezuela, when one of the biggest drugs busts were made. It became evident. Bear in mind, if you do not know, the DEA, the United States premier drug enforcement agency, the DEA, has people in Guyana. And what's been happening is that Guyana is only 850,000 people, maybe 900,000 now with the immigrants. It's all man for himself. So people know, ask yourself, who would know about what's going on in Region 1? Let me read some of this for you. Let's go through. Drug trafficking in Guyana. Guyana proximity to the Caribbean, as well as alleged corruption along its ports and borders, allow aircrafts and maritime vessels, also known as narco subs, to transit through its waters undetected. Drug traffickers exploit the rivers and jungles of South America by transporting large quantities of cocaine from Colombia, Venezuela through Guyana and Suriname. Guyana is a close partner with the United States in combating narco trafficking. Nonetheless, according to 2025 State Department International Narcotic Control Strategic Report, corruption in Guyana poses a significant obstacle to its effort to combat drug trafficking. So while Guyana is a partner, we shake hands, we doing, there are people in the system. The corruption, now imagine a senior police officer. You would expect a little man watching, so a security guard or watchman, a senior police officer, the divisional commander. Bear in mind, the main movement of drugs is from Venezuela to Guyana. It's the bordering region. And then you have the commander for that division. The sanctions will tell you. Now, let's go on. In the last few years, Guyana has been the focus of major U.S. law enforcement operation in partnership with Guyanese authorities, resulting in multi-ton seizures of cocaine. In March 2020, a cargo vessel originating in Guyana was discovered by the police in the waters of Trinidad with approximately 182 kilograms of cocaine. Cocaine packages stamped with Toyota logo, a known trademark of the Sinaloa cartel, was found on board the cargo vessel. Mexican drugs cartels are known to have a presence in Guyana. If there are drugs cartels in Guyana, at what level are they operating with? Who they operating with? Mexican cartels? You know Mexican cartels? If they could operate in Guyana, or known to operate in Guyana, at what level and who they operating with? You don't understand how this thing unraveling? If you just look at the sanction list. Who would know these things? How suddenly? Reuters article, 2023. Sanctions 2024. Lot of movements back and forth. More sanctions. And some of the drug traffickers is not limited to drug trafficking. It's gold smuggling. gold smuggling, drug trafficking, Colombians, this rings a bell? At least it serves a purpose that Guyana is on a trajectory where there's going to be an eradication of corruption. Read the reports, it's public information. Yeah? People say me, no, me I know nothing. You think it's I went to Barbados? I went to Barbados? No man, I don't make I go up the road with you, boy. I don't deal with no bull man kind of nonsense, boy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, right? Guyanese, wake up. These are matters. If you know for read, get somebody to read it for you. These are matters of national interest and will affect you, the regular man. The geopolitical landscape of this country is changing. We're going to have beautiful highways. We can get a great airport. All infrastructure is going to be suited. You're going to have good light. You're going to have good water. But it cannot be sustained with corruption. It has to be eradicated. It's begun. The Ministry of Home Affairs has a press release here. Let me see if I can take another thing. Yeah. Let me see. What do I have to do? Open the next page and do WhatsApp. Let's hear what the Ministry of Home Affairs has to say. I want to show y'all. I just don't want. What do I do? How do I get link devices? Let me see what they said here. What the hell is this? All right. So the Ministry of Home Affairs has issued a press release. Let's go through that quickly. If you guys could read it in full. The Ministry of Home Affairs welcomes the significant development and the actions taken today, Thursday, June the 5th, by the U.S. Department of the Treasury Office of Foreign Asset Control in sanctioning a number of named Guyanese and foreign nationals as a result of continued investigation into the use of Guyana as a place of transshipment for drugs to the United States of America. The OFAC imposed sanctions against Guyana Police Force Senior Superintendent Hemnot Saw, among others, for drug trafficking. In reference to this development, the Guyana Police Service Commission has taken note and sent Senior Superintendent Hemnot Saw on administrative leave with immediate effect to facilitate further investigation. Further action will continually follow. Further action will certainly follow. The government, through the Attorney General Office, will request details from the Office of Foreign Asset Recovery via the Department of Justice, a component of the United States government, to facilitate further investigations. The detail will guide the actions of the Police Service Commission, by extension the government of Guyana. The government of Guyana got to stop with this fuckery. You have a Guyana Police Force member being implicated in drugs. The drug bust happened. with the DEA and Kanu and everybody else, and y'all know what's going on. You're waiting for the Americans to tell you what's going on. The government of Guyana and the Guyana police force got to stop with the fuckery. Yeah, because this is an issue, a statement issued by the government of Guyana, coming out from the Ministry of Home Affairs. This bullshit is the same thing with the Mohammed. We know, we waiting for information, and the people got everything. The Americans, the DEA, is in Guyana, researching from America, investigating from America, investigating in Guyana, and Guyana didn't know what's going on. When things happen, we waited for America to tell us. They gotta stop. The government of Guyana remains unwavering in its commitment to eradicate drug trafficking and dismantling criminal networks that facilitate their illegal activities. Through robust enforcement strategies and enhanced monitoring measures, authorities will continue to fully pursue and prosecute offenders. This underscores the government's dedication in preserving the integrity of the nation's security interests. When you can do it, listen to this. The government of Guyana, unwavering in its commitment to eradicate drug trafficking and dismantling of criminal networks, facilitate illegal activity through robust enforcement strategies. Which robust enforcement strategies? You and the DEA seized 4.4 tons of cocaine at an airstrip in Burima Raini, Region 1. The officer came to Georgetown. Still got you work. You wish she happy, the Guyana police force wish she happy birthday. I don't know the circumstances. I'm not the investigation individual. I look into the optics from outside. When sanctions is brought against this individual, then y'all catch yourself. This will no longer suffice. These kind of things will no longer suffice. Is it making sense? Same thing now. The man will rob GRA all the money. Everybody's a lot of speculation. People playing like they know how these people get sanctions. Who? Me know? I never get myself implicated in no drug smuggling. I don't know. I never get myself implicated in no illicit activity, no gold smuggling, not me. Further, the government of Guyana, with the support of the government of the United States, will continue to pool efforts to combat this threat. Guyana will continue to demonstrate its commitment to working with the U.S. in the fight against drug trafficking. This was evident when the U.S. and Guyana joint interagency task force, including the Guyana Police Defense Force, collaborated with the seizure of the 4.4 metric tons of cocaine with approximately 195 million U.S. value in September 24th. But was this interagency task force? And then the Americans got bring sanctions. If you and the Americans was working with uncover this cocaine, y'all didn't know that Hem Chan was involved, Sa was involved. Was this into what? The people come and tell you how many cocaine there, y'all give them a drop, they tell you, give me a drop, let me show you this cocaine there. Y'all explain, issue another statement explaining what role did the Guyana police force, did the Guyana government, what role did the Kanu, what role did anybody play? And everybody play in this drug bust of 4.4 tons. Just the I ask it. You specify what roles who play. Because if you come now and say the Guyana government is committed and they had a joint interagency task force They had a joint interagency task force, was the Americans sent back now for put sanctions against the man. Man still working and police force wishing him a happy body. Joint including the Guyana Defense Force, collaborated to seize 4.4 tons metric tons Babab in September. The government of Guyana will continue to work diligently with the U.S. counterparts on this matter and other matters of mutual interest. Looking forward to seeing it. Sally Jones is saying, I hear 2 MPs from the opposition side were sanctioned too. People who were sanctioned will be on the OFAC's page. So let's not insinuate. This here is from the Department of the Treasury, U.S. Department of the Treasury website. You ain't got to speculate nothing. It's not me saying. What has speculation surrounding it is how this come now. What happened? People might want to say many things. Innuendos and slangs and comments and things flying all about the place. But the facts are clear. The U.S. intention is clear. It's clear as day where Guyana is going. Corruption, illegality can't continue. I think Guyana is one of the first countries I'm going to see during election time, journalists can get sanctioned. I just hear some journalists asking the president some stupidness. Just here. Let's continue. In the last few years, Guyana has been the focus of major law enforcement. I've been through the Trinidad, Tobago, bam, bam, bam. Cocaine package stamped Toyota. On February 20th, 2025, the department identified a Sinaloa cartel as a foreign terrorist the Sinaloa cartel as a foreign terrorist organization, FTO, and as a specially designated global terrorist, SDGT. Prior to its designation as FTO, OFAC sanctioned the Sinaloa cartel on April the 15th, 2009, pursuant to the Foreign Narcotics Kingpin Designation Act, for playing a significant role in international narcotics trafficking. On December the 15th, 2021, OFAC also designated the Sinaloa cartel pursuant to EU 14059. On March the 21st, 2024, U.S. and Guyanese law enforcement seized 2,370 kilograms of cocaine in a self-propelled semi-submersible approximately 150 miles off of the coast of Guyana. The semi-submersible is like a submarine, but it barely floats on top of the water. It's being used to transship cocaine across the Atlantic Ocean to American shores. In August 2024, Guyanese authorities with support from the DEA and DSS discovered 4.4 tons of cocaine in a clandestine airfield in the northwest region of Guyana known as Berrimo Waini, or Region 1, which shares a border with Venezuela. The cocaine was buried in the underground bunker about 6 feet deep. There's a listing of names and criminal operators in Guyana. Guyanese national Paul Dabe Jr. and Randolph Duncan operate a large drug trafficking organization in Guyana and rely on maritime vessels and aircraft to conceal and traffic cocaine, while also allegedly bribing Guyanese officials to facilitate their drug trafficking operations. Now, my real concern is how and why now. That's my real concern. How and why now? How long has these investigations been going on? Has the US government recently got something specific to lead to this? That is where my real concern is. Let me go straight through it. And tomorrow morning, this is the details as it relates to the facts. Tomorrow morning, I'll be giving you all my opinion on this. Officials to facilitate the drug trafficking operation. Dabe Jr. traffics ton quantities of cocaine, coordinating the shipments of loads from Colombia and Venezuela via aircraft and utilizing illegal airstrips in Guyana. Dabe Jr. also relies on networks of individuals to conceal and transport cocaine in shipping containers from the ports of Guyana and Suriname. Dabe Jr. also involved in the transporting of illegal gold from Guyana via maritime vessels. Duncan traffics cocaine from Guyana to Africa and the Caribbean, with Europe and the United States as the ultimate destination. Now this turns up gold smuggling, drug trafficking. Yeah, put it together. Figure it out. Mark Cromwell, a former Guyana Police Force officer, is a violent drug trafficker and associated with Dabe Jr. Cromwell is wanted by the Guyana Police Force in connection with the 2024 abduction of a former Guyanese police officer. Guyanese national Hemnat Shaw, a law enforcement officer of the Guyana Police Force, has ensured safe passage to Colombian and Venezuelan traffickers through Region 1. In September 2024, following the discovery of 4.4 tons of cocaine in Region 1 by Guyanese officials, Shaw was removed as divisional commander of Region 1 and assigned to the Guyana Police Force Transport Workshop. Colombian national Yuson Andres Sanchez, known as Sanchez, and Manuel Salazar Gutizes, or whatever, Salazar, are responsible for overseeing the clandestine airstrip used to transport ton quantities of cocaine via aircraft from Colombia to Guyana. OFAC designated Dabe Jr., Duncan, Cromwell, Shaw, Sanchez, and Salazar pursuant to EO 14059 for having engaged in or attempting to engage in activities and transactions that have materially contributed to or pose a significant risk of materially contributing to international proliferation of illegal drugs or the means of production. Now, this alone suggests that the US might have been doing an investigation, but something or somebody put the sights on these people specifically. It's not here or there to me. I want a better country to live in, whatever that means. I don't know what y'all want. So, under that has some sanctions implications. You could go to our page. Please post this on our page also, Robbie. So you could go to our page. I would have given you a basic rundown of the sanctions, the new sanctions brought today. But the real implications are the Americans are not playing. They're willing to sanction even high-ranking members of the Guyana Police Force, and I just wrote an article to the effect. Tomorrow morning, I'll be dealing with that in detail. It's crunch time. The Americans are expressing their frustration. Because how hard is it to make right? How hard is it to make right? The Guyana police force got 6,000 members. Guyana got under 1 million people. We could make right now. We could straighten the act. We could do better. Go read the sanctions. It's no game. Look at the timing. Reuters article. What Reuters article stated. Exxon pull out. You just follow the series of events. I want to thank you for tuning into this segment of Special Report. And looking forward to seeing you in the morning, where I'll go in depth in my understanding or my analysis of today's sanctions against 4 Guyanese, 2 Colombians with Guyanese association, one of the Guyanese of which is a senior member of the Guyana Police Force. Thank you once again for tuning in.